Spain, garage, engine. Welcome back to Tools and Track. We finish it now. Many moons ago I fixed this. I actually forgot all about that.
Somewhere.
Yeah, so good you can't even see the repair. Now we need to put that in because this is an integral part to hanging the engine. So this is now prepped.
Yes, brake line's done.
Yeah.
Everything's tight.
So what we're going to do is, this is a bit of a backwards car for reasons. So we need to put the engine in first and then we attach the gearbox to the engine. But that's okay because if you look at the engine, which Daniel has loomed in advance, so it has now got loom, you'll see you've got mount 1, onto the back of here goes mount 2, and around the front there is a mount 3. So all of these mounts will hold the engine in without a box.
Yes, that's the idea.
So
the box just attaches to the engine and then there's one mount on the box that hangs it on the top, and that's it. So
we're going to put that in so we can do said thing.
Yeah.
And then the engine will be in.
It'll be in.
This is summer. This has been like this constant. This is why we didn't film the engine yet. I'm shouting because it's so fucking loud. We didn't film the engine going in yesterday because we had to expedite it within 15 minutes between that. Because the gap between the carport and the garage is about 4 foot, which would have soaked us.
Yeah. And it's literally doing like this walk the whole summer.
The whole summer. Degrease your box. That's immediately going to shred gears because it's mince.
What comes around?
You've been busy when I've been gone.
We have done some things.
Yeah, I mean, I joke all the way through this project, just fire up, but
it's not far. It's not far off.
It's, we could be at a just fire up stage very, very soon.
Yep, it's not far away. So while you're away, we done. This is a horrible job, so I thought I was like, I'll just spend the time and remember how I put all this together.
Yeah.
Because you've got like oil cooler, radiator, all the swirl pot stuff, which is up here. This radiator's lower than the engine, so it would be impossible to bleed.
Yeah.
So you need all this nonsense
Fancy aftermarket swirl
to
pot.
go with it.
Yeah.
But the key thing is here is, everything on this was like, it's so tight. You know,
Yeah.
like...
But I mean, the beauty is you've done it before. So
Yeah, I
it's
was just trying to remember how it was done, and then it was that thing while it was off, it was like, oh, we better paint all the brackets because they're there
Yeah.
and they're off. They were literally made up, make sure everything fits, and then everything was taken back off because the car was coming apart.
Yeah.
So we never finished painting all the things, and...
I mean, that's the key on this. Like, it's been built already. This is just basically a refurb. If anything else.
It's just reassembling it now, basically. But the problem is, all the stuff I'd made was like, I just fabricated it and I just put it in a box.
Yeah, so now it's all painted and nice. And
Yeah.
But, like, you see now just how this is going to be quite spicy. This is a catch can.
Yeah, but this is the problem you get, is like, you go buy a Universal one and they just never fit. They never fit the shape of the car. And room is at a premium on this thing.
When you get to
so
this level, yeah.
we had to start. I just made one so that we've actually got good breathing.
So
And
battery still needed. The wee battery tray. It's obviously
yeah,
got a
that
small-
takes one of those. Is it Varley red top? It's the size for like an
Yeah.
off the shelf race battery. So we just need to get one of those. Power steering cooler.
Yeah, so we'll need to make some lines because that's obviously aftermarket as well.
That's an Evo. What's an Evolution
It's
one?
enough for an Evo.
The power steering fluid would basically boil.
I know this well from NX5.
And you would end up with, kind of partial power steering, which is quite scary. So
that's probably the solution to me bubbling up my power steering on auto test.
yeah, that's off an Evo 4.
MX5 is not the chat today. So what do we still need to
So
do?
we're going to leave this just now. So see the oil cooler?
Yeah.
Because we're going to need to run this engine in, we want the oil to warm up fast.
Just
We're just-
run the lines to where they would terminate and just leave them blank.
yeah, we'll just put the caps on, either on the cooler or on the lines at the other end, and just leave it for now, and then when it comes time to actually dyno it, we'll
Put it all up.
attach it on.
Annoyingly, I know where this is going. The stuff that we need to do today is probably going to be unfilmable.
I've started putting, we've basically, the brake lines from like here to here are basically done. I've put there's a little tray that holds all the brake lines up on these.
Yeah.
Which is quite good. So I've started putting that all back on. The only thing we have to do is from like here, where it does a turn for each side, there's not really anywhere to mount them. So we're going to have to, like, luckily with this one, we've managed to kind of keep it really factory and use the little plastic clips and the factory holders and stuff. See on the back.
No bueno.
There is holes for clips, but when I remember when we had to take it apart, they were almost all broken because they're these little tiny single clips that go in a tiny little hole and they just break. So I think what we're going to do is just do the kind of P-clip method at the back.
So the target, as you can probably imagine, is to get this thing on its wheels. So we're on a time crunch to move this out of here because he's moving out of here completely. So we don't want to have this as a, how do we move a shell?
Which a good thing is, at this point, it's like I put the kind of tone hook brackets and stuff like that on. So it's, at the moment, you could just take it off and put it on a recovery truck, no problem. But while we've got this time, we're just like that. Let's just do as much as we can, so that it's less to do. Anything that doesn't get fitted to this has to go in it to get moved, or we have to put in the van and move. So the more stuff we attach to this car, the less stuff we need to move.
Let's see how far we can push it. Obviously, like bolt and bodywork stuff on's a moot point. That would all have to come off.
It's all coming back off to get painted. We need to do. There's a shifter linkage to the gearbox. That we've changed the shifter to like a 4-mounted, fancy kind of big tall shifter. But the problem with that is because the old one, they used to be attached to the engine. Basically, your shifter linkage just floats, doesn't actually attach to the car anywhere. So I forgot that I didn't have one of the mounts on. So when I made the linkage, the linkage is the wrong length. So it's the gearbox, it just points to the dash. So what we're going to do though is we're going to do I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere.
So that linkage basically, I'm just tripping over all the debris. I can't.
It's under the gearbox.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is we're actually going to make it adjustable, like your top arms on the low cost. So we're going to use like one side normal thread, one side reverse thread, kind of turnbuckle arrangement. So for any reason, if this settles from having it in the car for a while and stuff like that, you can literally just loosen it and adjust the length of the linkage. But the only other thing that's stopping us today from putting all the exhaust and stuff on is
heat shields.
Yes, which we need the brake lines for because they're under the heat shields. So
right, let's get into it.
top underseal tips here.
Like this is what you pay for with Tools and Track. Just the dab content.
No, it is a valid point. It's like, so see, if you ever at one point have to touch up underseal, like what I've had to do here, even though I undersealed the whole car. Anyway, that's for another day. If you put stuff on like this and it goes shiny, what you can do is if you just put just enough on the brush, and then you sit and dab, you'll actually match the finish of the chute skin.
Nobody ever needs to go to this level of anal for something that lives underneath the car.
I know, but you see it, so
If anyone sees this, you've done something wrong. Just waiting on the jab stuff drying before we put brackets on, and this has been months of really hard graft, and it's been one of those ones where you're like, when is this going to end? But see, when it's at this stage and you're like, oh, it's just wee bits, just putting wee tiny bits on. I mean, this garage was stuffed, absolutely rammed, all stuff under the car, on top of the car. That's all the bits that are left. I mean, obviously there's body panels and stuff, but that's half of that's probably going in the bin because it's full of rust as well. It's a nice feeling. Can't wait until my stuff gets like this. There we go. It now lives here. That's because we need to do all the rest of the paint and Daniel's moving house. So as a result, all of this had to go regardless. So keen-eyed viewers will note that there's also now no longer a Supra living here. And there's a story behind that. No, I've not sold it, it just lives there. That will wrap it up for now. Obviously we need to finish off terminating a lot of the engine, find the windscreen, do a lot of other stuff, but that's for next week. For the moment, and I'm going to go through to my workshop because it's now helicopters and people chatting and for fuck's sake. Also DPD for some bloody reason. Patreon.com/toolsandtrack. Go on, have a look, go be awesome. If that's not for you, like, bell, subscribe because that's also cool. And until next weekend guys, drive safe.